Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. And smash that like button right meow. You know you're gonna have a good time. I certainly will. I always have fun at these. I look forward to these all week. I just need to get my chat rooms open. I'm live on YouTube, of course, but then you might hear me twice for a second. I also have my Twitch chat room opened up. I'm not multicasting, but just in case you want to chat along and you don't have a YouTube account, you don't have to. You can just hop over to Twitch. I've got the same name there. I've got the link in where do I have it? The description for my channel. Because if you have an account on YouTube, or pardon me, on Twitch, then you have a chat room. I don't have one video, I don't have anything content wise up there. But if you have a handle, you have a chat room that never closes. And I know some Twitch people that show up when they can. I want to be able to see what they have to say. I've gone to like Twitter. Like you can live stream from them there now and have a chat room, but they also have a thing where it's basically just radio, and I don't listen to radio. So I need a place to chat. And I was gonna be a smart ass and just start tweeting my chats, but I didn't want to blow up these people's account. And they're like, "Oh no, we don't do that. We've gotten by just fine being like a radio show." And it's like, "Oh, good for you. Just asking. Just thought I would inquire," and then it left because I don't do radio. That's the whole point of having a chat room because we're not in the same place. So it's like when you would watch TV at your friend's house, or later on, everybody had to go to one person's house to look at the internet. So everybody would be sitting around and talking about what they're looking at or talking about a TV show. And that's what a chat room is for. So if you cut people off from that and it's just like radio, I'm not interested. I don't understand that. Why are you online on social media and you are sort of low key going out of your way to not bring people together? I don't get that. I really don't. I'm gonna plug in my other cooling fan and set it on to help this thing out. I've got the link in the description for the Dark Shadows audio dramas that are over on Spotify, which is free. I've listened to most of the ones I want to listen to. The ones I haven't listened to yet are the ones that feature a lot more of Carolyn, but I've listened to a lot of the ones with Quentin and Maggie. Of course, in the first few days, I listened to all of the ones with John Carlin, but um, some like they're all good, but there are a few of them where I had to take them out of my playlist because they just have these like a feedback, like they're putting on a radio show, and so that keeps happening. Like, no, that hurts my ears, so I can't. I listened to it once. I took it out of my own playlist. One of them is it's a Quentin one, and the story was interesting, but the background music sounds that they keep using, I just had to stop. I couldn't even finish it. It was hurting my ears too much. I couldn't listen to it casually while I was playing video games either, so I just did not listen to one of them. But they are all pretty good. Sometimes you can envision what's going on. One of them was, I think it's supposed to be like one of Quentin's children, so it's voiced by this other actor. And while he has a good powerful, strong sounding voice. It's not a very actory type of voice, so it really wasn't like the story was good, but his acting wasn't pulling me into it. What's up, Patrick? Glad you made it. Says evening, Nikki. Hope you're well. Yeah, doing okay today. How was your birthday last earlier this week when that happened? Like, did you have fun? Did you go out to eat or anything? So your birthday's in the summer, so you can go to the park or have a cookout or have people over and nobody has to put on a winter coat. My birthday's in January, so there's no going to the park or the amusement park or let's go for a walk down the frozen sidewalk. That sounds like oh, not too bad, thanks. Yeah, that's cool. Nose is acting up. Sometimes it's cool to just chill out on your birthday. It's at least for me, my birthday is usually a bad day, and I'm not one to get hung up about my age because I've been old for a long time. But it's just usually a bad day. It's usually the worst weather of the week, so it's even if I wanted to, say it was 10 or 15 years ago and go out to the mall, it would take just twice as long to get out there, and maybe what I wanted to buy wouldn't be in stock or do something stupid like that. So it's just sometimes it's just a day. Was it last year or the year before? My birthday was on a Saturday, so I was doing a live show. Just looking ahead, when is my birthday this year? And yeah, my birthday. Oh no, wait, next year. That'll be next year. I shouldn't care, but let's see, January. Oh, I know. January 2027. My birthday's on a Monday. I was born on a Monday. Okay, so that means New Year's Day in October will be on a Monday. It is October 11th on a Monday in 2027. Uh, that's how it was in 1999 too. And my friend who passed, his birthday is also on a Monday, different month. Okay. What's this? Oh, that's when Greystone plays with life. Patrick says, I hope Dandy had a good one too. Yeah, I hope so. I think he mentioned going to see his sister, and she lives in a town that's closer to. I guess he's from a town closer to my ways, and then he just happened to move to where he is whenever for whatever reason. But he spent the day with the sister one day, and then I think he said he was maybe going out with friends on his actual birthday, something like that. Maybe going to the bar, going out to eat or something like that. So that's cool. That's fun. It's always the best birthday party I've ever had are parties I've ever had are online when I get to show up here and see you guys for a couple hours. So those are awesome. Oh, Dandy, what's up? We were just talking about you. Hope you had a good birthday or a happy birthday too. Both. Nobody wants to show up for a birthday party and they have a bad time. Who eats an entire fucking cake? What do you mean there's no cake? Bruh. Yeah, so when you were younger, did you get to have birthday parties at the park and stuff like that? Damn it. I mean, I guess I technically could go to a park or something in the middle of January, but I would just be freezing my ass off. Well, it's going to be a Monday next year, so I'll have the show that we go to show up for. It won't be fun to sit outside by myself. If it's my birthday, I'll probably be spending time at my house in Minecraft, to be honest. Let's be real. Oh, Dandy says, birthday weekend was great. Oh, great. Patrick saying, Dandy, you good? Hope your birthday was good. Oh, nice. Sweet. Everybody wants to have a bad time on their birthday. Like, you couldn't have waited a day. You couldn't have waited 2 days. Bruh. Oh, they've got the same birthday, so that's why they are wishing each other happy birthday. On this channel, it's a lot of folks seem to have birthdays. Their birthday twins, maybe different year, but their birthdays are on the same day. That is cool. Just going to my recap. Oh, what's up, NT? Glad you made it. Says, hey, Nikki and everyone. Hope all goes well with all of you. Yeah, it would be nice to get more than a. It'd be nice to have a good week here, but sometimes I get a couple of days, and then you get water pouring in your damn window. But, it could be worse. Waiting for the neighbors to get into a big enough fight that the cops get called so I can watch it from my window and laugh. Get 'em, Ice. And happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day from 2 years ago, or 2 years, 2 days ago. Hope it's going good. I'm glad I don't sleep at night, because then I would just hear those pops going off and they might wake me up, so I get to avoid all of that. But yeah, to recap the last review. So Maggie tried to bribe Willie with that jeweled necklace. Like, here, Willie, you take this. Meet me upstairs, because she was gonna kill Barnabas so they can both be free of him. And then Willie stopped her. He heard the heart beating from the coffin. She had an ice pick. He wrestled it away from her, so that was not happening at that time. Not today's Satan, right? Yeah, I got my. Oh. Gray still plays Not Today's Satan shirt. They don't sell these anymore. I'm glad I got mine when I did. That he had a sale going on. Oh, Black Friday one year. So I got this one, and I got a short sleeved one that I wear for balcony chats. And then it just, you can go to graystillplays.com and buy other stuff. I'm not affiliated, I'm just a fan. But it's all gone. No mugs, no shirts, no hoodies, nothing. NT says you got to make your own and sell them. Actually, Shane B did a design for a Not Today Satan shirt with the purple top hat. I just need to get it together to put it on a website, or I don't know if Teespring or something like that does it, so I can sell them, because I want to wear them. I know you guys want to wear them, and he was nice enough to draw those for me. I've got a video on my channel. It's the thumbnail is a couple of hats. It was up for a vote, but like, some people like them both. I like them both, so I'm gonna see about making those both into shirts. Yeah, because Not Today's Satan is not a copyrighted phrase. It's not the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. If I were to put that on a shirt, the Folgers people would be sending me an email like, yeah, you can't do that. And T says I'll support that. Oh, cool, thank you. Yeah, I can't. Like, I wanna get both of them to wear sometimes. A way I could wear it in public, because I don't wear this hat out in public, but I could technically be wearing a purple top hat. Yeah, so Maggie gives Willie a necklace, so he will just F off for a little while so she can kill Barnabas. That doesn't work. Gets the ice pick away from her. So then later that same night, she's back down there again. That ice pick is still on the floor. Like, Willie didn't pick it up. He didn't kick it out of the way or nothing like that. It's still there. So she's down there again. She tries to kill him again. Opens up his casket. But wouldn't you know, it's right at sunset. So he wakes up and he sees her. She gets scared and drops it. So It should have been like 30 seconds faster, but like there goes that out the window. Plus now he just watched her try to kill him. So of course he doesn't feel good about that. So he just takes her and locks her in a cell down there in the basement. I thought he was gonna kill her. Willie's like, no, you gotta kill me first. And he spends a good chunk of time talking him out of it. So Barnabas just throws Maggie into a cell. Then over in Collinwood, or up in Collinwood, Liz decided to let everybody into that locked room in the basement to get them to stop talking about it. Mostly it was Jason's idea, but she's the one who unlocked the door. Lets them in there, they don't find anything. And then he's like, well, they didn't find anything. We should announce our engagement. So she goes upstairs, and that's what she does. And Carolyn looks like she's going to be sick. And we have 994 episodes to go. And links are in the description for the channel and for the show, for Dark Shadows on Tubi, on Internet Archive, and the audio dramas on Spotify. I've also got super chats opened up. I've got Venmo and Buy Me a Coffee. Those go directly to myself. You're never supporting AI content. You're not giving Google 30%. Your money stays in the United States. I'm not spending it on hookers and blow. And I read your comment at my next show. So we pick up with episode 252. This aired on June 13th, 1967. It is day 75. Because the last thing we saw was Maggie getting locked up, and of course it was after sunset by then. So we're in the next day. It's morning. At tea hookers and blow, right? I wouldn't spend your money on that. I need to get new glasses, so I cannot see across the room. It's just that bad. So it's Carolyn's going down the stairs. She heads into the living room, but she stops because she hears Liz on the phone, and Liz is just like, yeah, Frank, that's right. I want you to rush my divorce through as fast as you can. Just get it over with. She's got two lawyers. She's got Richard and Frank Garner, his Richard's son, Frank. I don't think we're ever going to see him again, but I guess he still works for his dad. But she wants the divorce just rushed on through. Oh, what's up, Brian? Glad you made it. Says happy 250th Independence Day, everybody. Yeah, thank you. And T, that's our time of a saying. Now it's only fans and fentanyl. Yeah. Ooh. Isn't fentanyl a downer? I don't like downers. I'm already, that's why I'm sucking on an energy drink over here, man. I'm already tired. Patrick, USA doing great in the World Cup. Playing real football, right? FUTBOL. Now Liz is wearing it's the light gray dress. It's got long sleeves. It's got these two buttons on the side of the dress, like on either side of the bust. It's not functional, it's just feature. And the more you look at it, the more you're like, why? Why are those there? So just don't think about it. Why are those there? If anybody's gonna have buttons in a weird place on a dress, it's Liz. I don't know if that was the style back then. I don't know if that's just what Liz orders, but it's why? Why would you? It's like they're not on the nips. They're right on the side. I don't know, but that's that dress, and she's wearing her gold hoops, and she's got this circle brooch, just jewels, just jewels everywhere on it. We haven't seen it before. But she gets done with her phone call. Carolyn walks the rest of the way in there. Just Carolyn gets some really good one-liners this episode, but she's being so sarcastic with her mother. It's like, "Oh, you're the picture of the impatient bride." Liz says, "Don't be facetious." Carolyn, "Well, Jason's the ideal man for a honeymoon around the world. He's been everywhere 10 times." Liz says, "Why are you doing this to me?" Carolyn asks her, "Why are you doing this to yourself? Can't believe you're going to marry him. Tell me it's a lie or a joke." Liz says, "I'm going to marry Jason, and there's nothing you or anyone can do about it. No one seems to realize I have the right to live my life as I see fit." Lynn says, "I only want to help you. I'd like to see you married and happy. But why him?" Liz says, "Because he's the man I choose." Carolyn says, "I know you too well for that. You're doing this for some other reason I intend to find. I want to know what qualities he has that make him the ideal husband for you and stepfather for me." Says, "Why do you hate him so?" Carolyn, "Because he's sly and deceitful. I don't believe you feel anything for him. Anything at all." Liz says, "Well, you're wrong, and I don't want to go on with this conversation." Carolyn says, "Well, I do. It's become my very favorite subject. There's one answer I'd like to hear. Do you love him?" Liz, "Yes, I love him." Carolyn says, "I don't believe you." Liz says, "You've got to. I'm tired of everyone trying to live my life for me, and I don't see you doing much with your life." Carolyn says, "Oh, I'll do something about my life. You can bet on that." She takes off. "I'll show you." Brian says, "I'm heading to my daughter and son-in-law's for hot dogs, cold brewskis, and fireworks." Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I'm not a drinker or anything, but dude, hot dogs from the grill? F yeah. Fireworks are fun too. I like explosions. I don't have any cats for them to scare, so yeah, go ahead. NT says, "I don't like." Oh, you don't like uppers? Or ups, as John Pinette said. "I like to sit down, lie down, put food in front of me, and wolf it down, write music, and I might boogie and get down." I'm already tired. I don't need to take down. If I were to drink alcohol, I would have one drink and fall asleep, or two and fall asleep. And I'm not a lightweight drinker at all. It's just that's what downers do to me. So I could just not take as much caffeine and feel down. So I'd rather have the uppers, and then I'll decide how up it's going to make me. I can have it in my system and not be geeked out or anything like that. I can maintain my high buzz, but if I'm tired, I'm just like, "Oh, okay, let's go home." So now we're over in Roger's study, and it's Roger and Victoria, and just looking over some papers. It's well, Roger's saying that he's looking at this stuff, and he doesn't think that David is doing well in history. And Victoria says he's good at English and math, and it's about average for boys his age in the history department. David seems more interested in his family's history than world history. Oh, NT, that's fine. It's just a joke, is all. Just meant for a funny, having a good laugh. He's like, oh, that's a comedian? Oh, cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. If there was some Xanax around, I would do it, but it would make me super tired. I'm not going to be going out anywhere. I'm just going to enjoy the book. I couldn't say pop. I couldn't do a downer and then start playing Minecraft because then I just, oh shit, I better save and just go to it. I seem to fall asleep pretty quickly. Like, I'll watch this video and when it's over, I'll wake up like, oh, is it over? I was gonna watch. So easy. But Carolyn walks in and she's clearly upset. So Victoria asks her what's the matter. So Carolyn's, oh, nothing at all. I was just having a chat with the bride to be. Roger, is it safe to assume she hasn't come to her senses? Carolyn, she insists she wants to marry Jason. Roger says in these 18 years she hasn't mentioned other men or marriage. Victoria says, now remember, she announced it after we were in that locked room. We all seemed to be against her, except for Jason, so maybe she might change her mind. Carolyn, she won't, because she used the magic word. She loves him. I say he came here with a plan to marry her. Roger, we all feel the same way. Each individual reserves the right to ruin his or her life as quietly or as flamboyantly as he chooses. Carolyn, I'll remember that. She even made me feel that I'm wasting my life. So she seems to get an idea. She gets up, she goes across the room over to there's a phone over there, picks up the phone book, flips through a few pages, finds something, picks up the phone, starts dialing. She says, my mother found love. I'm going to find it too. Hello, Buzz. This is Carolyn Stoddard. I've been thinking about you. I saw you go by the other day on your new motorcycle. I was wondering if the gas tank is full. Buzz, what the hell? She must know his real name. I doubt the phone book has people's nicknames in there. Oh, God, who's this guy? And a motorcycle. Oh, hell no. So you already know I don't even like this guy, and we haven't even seen him yet. Okay, now you want to watch this episode. Watch episode 252 because now I've got the blue whale. And remember I told you about they played this silly ass like cartoon chase scene music in the bar. This is it. This is the silliest damn. You can't drink to this music. It sounds like somebody left the TV on that we never see at the bar. And the Flintstones are on. I don't know. It's the dumbest, silliest bar music you've ever. It does not fit the scene at all. It, it's just dumb as hell, but it's the like take that record out and break it on the side of the table. Like who put this on? But it's playing, and we have to take this scene seriously. But Joe's sitting in there with Victoria. Joe says that he was on the phone with the captain, and then he just heard this noise outside that wouldn't quit. So he looked out, and there was about a dozen motorcycles going by with a familiar blonde on the back of the lead bike. Victoria, Carolyn. Joe says, yeah. So a couple hours later, they rode past again, leaving a trail of beer cans. What is that girl doing? Victoria says she's doing the most obvious thing she can to get back at Liz. Joe says, is that rumor about Mrs. Stoddard's marriage, is that true? Is that really going to happen? She can't be blind to what kind of guy Jason is. Victoria says, I don't know. They've got some kind of bond. And as if the music in the bar is not silly enough, then we hear outside a motorcycle pulling up. So just, oh my God, so much noise. Ugh. So the motorcycle pulls up, turns off, and Carolyn walks in with some guy that we've never seen before. This must be Buzz. This guy, he's wearing a leather jacket. He needs to shave. It looks like he was growing like this, mustache beard kind of combo. And then about a week or so ago, he decided fuck it and just decided to not start shaving the rest of his face. So he's got a bunch of this scraggly facial hair going on. Wearing sunglasses, jeans. I don't know if we see it right here, but he's usually wearing it looks like a giant chain, maybe to lock up his motorcycle, like draped around one shoulder, and then so the lock is hanging at his opposite side, and then the back of his coat has these studs, I guess, little studs. And they sort of seem to be in the shape of a spider web, but they're not connected, if you know what I mean. It's just the dots, but not the lines. That's sort of how it looks to my eye. So I guess that's what a hooligan looked like back then. And it's nighttime too, and this guy's wearing sunglasses. Granted, I would do that too, but I wouldn't ride a motorcycle. But they both come in and they're hanging on each other, and Carolyn is just lit the fuck up. So they stumble over to the bar, and Carolyn wants a drink, but Buzz reaches into his coat pockets, turns him out. It's like, baby, I'm out of bread. Carolyn says, don't worry about that. I've got more money than you'll ever see. Buzz says, that's not much. So Carolyn orders 2 stingers. I don't know what kind of drink that is. Some kind of mixed drink, I assume. But Buzz is like, no, he just wants a beer. Oh, okay, that's fine. But they're over at the bar, so that's where, from their seats, that's where Joe and Victoria are watching. And Joe says she's loaded. Victoria, they both are. I'm afraid for her riding around on those motorcycles. So Joe offers to go over there and break them up. And you want me to split those 2 up? And Victoria just says, no, Carolyn will just make a scene. So that's when Carolyn happens to look over and notices 2 people she recognizes, and she stumbles over there, brings Buzz with her. It's like, Buzz, I want you to meet my very best friend, Vicky Winters. And this is Joe Haskell. He's the greatest fisherman in Collinsport. So it's just this very awkward, like, hi, hello. Carolyn says, I had the most wonderful day. We're up and down every road and along the beaches. And hey, Vicky, you want to go for a ride on his bike? Victoria just, no thanks. I'd rather stay here. Buzz is like, come on, kid, sure. Victoria just said no. And Joe said, I think she said she'd rather stay here. Carolyn said, fine, if that's kind of safety you want, you could have it. And then she puts her arms around Buzz's neck and kisses him right there in front of Joe. I mean, I know they're not dating anymore, but still, damn. You guys are in public. Patrick says, I think we're getting a new prime minister, Andy Burnham. Another dimwit. Our country is knackered. No hope for us. Aren't they supposed to? I saw a meme about this. Shouldn't they just make that? Is it Larry the cat, the mouser cat? Just make him the prime minister because he's gone through what, like 7 of them. To just have the cat do it. He's seen enough. He knows what to do. Kitty cat. But now it is. Get that right. Yeah, I did. Now it's the next day because we see the clock in the foyer and it is 2:50 a.m. So it's day 76 now. And we're at the front door, a motorcycle pulls up. And Carolyn's just hanging on to Buzz from the back. Like she's been drinking all night. How is she still awake? Where was all this alcohol going? She's a small girl, but turns his bike off and Carolyn doesn't want to get off. So Buzz like, come on now, off. You've had enough for one night. So he has her get off the motorcycle. And T, do you mean Larry the Cable Guy? Not like it would be worse, right? No, they have a cat. There's some uh I don't know how they do stuff in the UK. There's some official type building where those official type of government people go, and it just looks like a regular ass house to us. It just looks like a house on a street, but apparently it's important building, and they have mice, so they need cats to catch them. And there's this cat that works there, and his name is Larry, and yeah, I think he has stripes, and he's been there for years, a long time. But he's an actual kitty cat. He's not like Matt Copper or Matt McCat or Tim Cat. He's an actual kitty cat, and his name is Larry. And people like the press show up and take pictures of him and stuff like that. And he's so chill. But he Downing Street. Thank you, Patrick knows. But yeah, there's a cat that lives there, but he's been there longer than the last so many prime ministers they've had. So like, just give him the job. He knows what to do. He's seen enough. They can get an extra cat on top of it to do the mousing stuff if Larry's too busy. And his name is Larry, like the lava lamp. I wonder what English cat sounds like. I mean, I know what American cats sound like, but like, do English cats meow in an English accent? I don't know. I haven't met one. So Carolyn gets off of the bike, so does Buzz. Carolyn says, what do you think of me? Buzz says, I don't have to think about you. I know we swing, and that's all I have to know. So they kiss again. Every time she kisses him, she's got to wrap her arms around this dude's neck, so they're making out, but I guess she's getting too hot and heavy for him. Buzz tells her to cool it, like the world's not ending. You don't gotta swallow my face, lady. But Carolyn invites him in, and Buzz, nah, I don't want to go in there. It's not for me. Carolyn opens up the doors. She says it's for everyone and anyone. So they both walk in, and Buzz is looking around. People live in this place? Carolyn says, not really. It's the kind of place people exist in. So Buzz notices the stair as he's like, you know what? I'd like to ride my bike right up those stairs. So Carolyn's like, do it now. Bring your bike in here. Come on. And Buzz is like, no, I don't want to get kicked out of this place. Carolyn says, no one's going to kick you out. So she takes him into the living room and goes to the wet bar, pours them both a drink. This whole time they've been there, she's been carrying, I thought it was a teeny tiny purse just on a strap on her wrist. It's really only, it's just this little box. So I thought it was a tiny purse, but she sets it down there on the wet bar, turns a knob or something. She must, because it starts playing music. So it's a teeny tiny radio. All right, cool. But it's loud as fuck though, man. So she's blasting that. So, hands Buzz's drink. He sits down. Carolyn starts dancing. She's a good dancer, especially when you consider again how she's been drinking all evening. Better part of the day. So she's dancing. Buzz is just chilling. How is the sun getting into my room? There's like this teeny tiny spot on the wall that it's fine. Anyway, so she's up there busting a move. Then Liz walks in. Carolyn's stops dancing. There's her mom, but Liz is wearing just this. It's some light colored. Whenever she's got a pattern on a dress, like a house dress or jammies or anything like that, it seems to be some kind of floral type of pattern. But she's got that on. It's got a collar on it that's turned down, but buttons all the way down the front. It's tied at the waist. Carolyn says, hey, it's mommy. Liz says, do you know what time it is? It's 3 a.m. Carolyn says, hey, I want you to meet my man. A real man. His name is Buzz. Buzz says, hiya, mommy. Liz says, you're drunk. Goes over to the wet bar, turns off the radio. Says to Buzz, you better get out of here. Buzz says, wait a minute now, Mrs. Stoddard. Carolyn says, why are you calling her Mrs. Stoddard? It's Mrs. McGuire. Buzz says, what are you talking? Carolyn, that's my mommy's brand new name. I've been telling you all day that my mommy's marrying some guy named McGuire. Buzz says, so how come you're calling her that now? Carolyn, because I want her to get used to it. I want her to be proud of it. You are proud of it, aren't you, Mrs. McGuire? And Liz just looks too upset to even say anything to her, so she just turns around, starts heading upstairs. So Carolyn follows her into the foyer. She gets about up to that table that's in the middle of the room facing the camera. She stops there. She says, what's the matter, Mrs. McGuire? Don't you like your new name? And then she keeps saying Mrs. McGuire, and every time she smacks that table, I don't want to knock this around too much. She's like, Mrs. McGuire, Mrs. McGuire, just yelling through the foyer. And by this time, Liz is just up at the top of the stairs, just looking down at her like, there's nothing she can do. She's drunk and pissed off. So Buzz joins them now. He's just sort of standing in the doorway. But Carolyn goes on. She says, "So you found love, Mrs. McGuire? Well, so have I." Turns around again. It wraps her arms around Buzz and kisses him right in front of her mom. I don't think we've ever seen her this drunk. We see the foyer there for the credits. Damn, she was lit up. Dandy says, "I looked up that house, 43,000 square foot mansion in Newport, Rhode Island, recently sold for around 30 million. The house they use for Collinwood or Downing Street is over in like London somewhere. Uh, I forget the name of the house now. It's in Terrytown. Uh, I forgot the name of the house right now in the moment. My memory is sharp as a tack. Yeah, the Collinwood house, like recently sold. What? Why would they sell it? Colin. What? Seaview Terrace, thank you. Let me try that. Just the terrace? No, Seaview Terrace. Terrace with an E. Oh, no. Because when Burke wanted to buy it, his money guy was talking about nobody would want Collinwood unless they were going to turn it into a hotel. So is it a hotel now? Let's see. Fire. History, not history. 43,000 square feet. That sounds like a lot of dusting and sweeping. Oh, it was built in the 20s. That's hot. Oh, yeah, that's for sale in summer of. Oh, wait, summer of 1925. Oh, I forgot what year it is. Uh, yeah, is it a hotel for sale? What if we wanted to buy it? It's only $29.9 million. That's a big house to live in by myself. I would have to get a bunch of cats. Yeah, 30 million. Yeah, just round it up to 30 million. I wonder what the electric bill for something like that is. Like just to maintain it, like your water bill, electric bill. Can one Wi-Fi router hit all of it? That's a party house. I would have to be throwing parties up in that bitch. So you know what we would be doing for New Year's Day in October. All right, episode 253 aired on June 14th, 1967. It's still day 76. It's nighttime, so it's. I know the last episode ended with this night, but it's like the whole day's gone by and it's nighttime again in the same day. But in the intro, Victoria's mentioned how it's the full moon, so I don't know if we want to try to go so far as to figure out when the full moons are and see if they sync up with the information that's given in the show. But that's when they said it's full moon. Okay, but we're down in the cell in the old house, and Maggie's there. I guess she can't wear her Josette dress down there. They've given her something else to wear. Her hair is the same, but she's got this. It's this dark, probably black fabric, long sleeves. It still has the empire waist, but like there's no jewels, no embellishment, nothing like that. It's just something like, here, put this on. You can't wear these nice clothes down in the basement. You don't deserve to wear Josette's dress. But she's I mentioned before how it's got like brick walls, concrete floor. There's like what she's got, it's like a crate that's on its end, a wooden crate at the head of the bed, and that's what she was just leaning on. Cobwebs. There's a chain hung in the back there. Sometimes we can see it. Sometimes we just see its shadow on the wall from the light behind it. It just looks like a disused basement room. I'm sure it's very cold. Of course, there's no windows or anywhere to look out and even know what time of day it is. There's that little shelf that's up by the door, kind of up high, that does have a candle on it that's lit, so that's really the only light she gets in there. But we've got our voiceover going, and she's thinking that she says, I mustn't give in. I won't forget who I am. Got to get out of here. I can't think. All I can remember is that coffin. So she hears footsteps, hears a door unlock. So she looks over at the door. The door, it's metal and it's got this square window in it, but it just got these bars, like these three little skinny bars, so you can't dive through. You can reach through it, but that's all that's really getting through there. Just so whoever's walking by can see inside. But she's listening for the footsteps, and somebody gets up to the door. So Maggie runs up to it. She says, Willie! And the door opens up a little bit. She realizes it's Barnabas, so she starts backing up. She gets back there on that cot. She's like, no, stay away, please. Don't come near me. Barnabas says, I don't understand. Closes the door. Why are you frightened of me? It is I who should be frightened of you. You tried to kill me. Maggie says, I know what you wanted to do to me. You wanted to make me like you are. Barnabas, only so that we could share eternal happiness. And you will, you know. Maggie says, never. So like I say, Maggie's there sitting on the cot, so Barnabas sits down next to her. He says, isn't it apparent by now that you have no choice? Maggie's got her head. We can see the back of Maggie's head as she's talking to Barnabas. She says, I can't. You want me to be something that I'm not. Barnabas says, you are Josette. Maggie says, I'm Maggie. Maggie Evans. Remember when Barnabas got frustrated with David? Now he's frustrated with Maggie. He says, I'm afraid I no longer have the patience to discuss it. The only thing I want to hear from you is that in the future, you'll be more willing to cooperate. Maggie says, don't you see that I can't? I'm trying to be honest with you. Barnabas, as I am with you. Now I've brought something for you that I think will be something that I think will help. Takes out the music box and he opens it up. It starts playing. Maggie says, no, I don't want it. Barnabas says, listen to it for just a moment. It will help you. Don't you realize that it's the only hope you have? Maggie says, no, I won't listen to it. I'll smash it. She closes it up. Barnabas says, that wouldn't be wise. Maggie says, then don't leave it here. Barnabas I'm offering you a second chance. I doubt if a third one will come. Well, I'm waiting. Maggie says, all right, leave it. Barnabas, and you will allow this to help you pass the time? Maggie, yes. Barnabas, and this time I will have methods for you so that you will succeed. I'll send Willie down with some food. Maggie says, Barnabas, as long as I'm not going to be leaving here. Barnabas, oh, but we will be leaving. We'll be leaving together. Maggie, I mean, as long as I'm not going to be going home again. Barnabas, this is your home. Maggie, I mean, as long as I won't see my father again. Barnabas, forget about him. Maggie says, can I at least let him know I'm all right? She points out that fat rock on her finger. She says, this ring, he gave it to me. I'd like to get it back to him. Barnabas, do you think I'm a fool? You're asking me to send your father an obvious signal that you're still alive and that the search will be intensified? Of the two of us, you're the fool if you expect me to believe that. Maggie says, I promise I'd cooperate. Please see that he gets this ring. Please get this to my father. Barnabas, all right. I'll see that he gets it. After you become my bride. Maggie says, no, now. Please give it to him now. Barnabas, next time, make your plans a little more resourceful. Good night, Joe said. Goes through the door, locks it up, leaves her down there. And what's up, Jen Rogers? Glad you made it. Brian's saying to Patrick, I'm glad to see that Clear Starmer is out. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the fix, but what's with that new party? Oh, they have a new party. Do they have like the Democrats and Republicans type of a thing over there like we have here? Doesn't really mean much. It's two wings of the same bird. No, give it to him now. She was really thinking on her feet, though. Okay, so that fat rock is from her father. No offense, but I doubt that her family had that kind of money for her to have a ring like that. I don't see why her father wouldn't have pawned it for alcohol, but okay, we'll go with it. That's fine. I thought Barnabas gave it to her, but I guess her dad gave it to her. All right, that's fine. That's cool. Brian says, I can't even imagine a house that large. I heard someone built that house, that specific house, in The Sims. Haven't seen it myself. Is it that? Yeah, that's the house that they built in The Sims. That's just that's just what I've heard. I don't know where to find that at. Not the one from the show, just the building that they use from in real life. But now we're in Collinwood and we're in the foyer. David he's done studying and he wants to go out and play, but Victoria doesn't want him to go out because it's dark. David's like, first I can't go out and play because I have to study, and now I can't go out to play because it's dark. Like, let this kid go outside, damn, get some fresh air. But Victoria's like, okay, but promise you won't go far from Collinwood. I don't mean to scare you, but you know what's been going on in town. You've got to promise and mean it. David says, I promise and I mean it. They've stopped looking for Maggie Evans, haven't they? Victoria, no, not really. David, it's all kind of spooky, isn't it? Victoria, David! All right, I'm going. I hope they do find who did it. And T says, yeah, that's the only world I could have done have a home like that is in The Sims. Haha. You can build it in Minecraft. Oh, Patrick says conservatives, parentheses Republicans, and labor, parentheses Democrats, both useless. Yeah, yeah. Like what's the name of the snake eating its tail? What one of those? I think I know the word, but I'll say it incorrectly in the moment. It's one of those. So David goes out to play. Now we're in the cell again over at the old house. Willie's got this new shirt. This is like his third new shirt. He's got those two turtlenecks, and now he's got this a crosshatch pattern, button up shirt. And he says never played that before. I'm not much of a gamer. I'll have to see what that game's all about. It's the block game, to put it mildly. It's the best selling game of all time. It does cost money. It is $30 plus tax, so it's like $32. But once you get it, you've got it forever. You get Java, which is what I play. It also has Bedrock, which I don't play. You can download mods for it that are free. You can do creative mode and everything's right there. You can play on stuff like survival where stuff tries to kill you. It's got multiplayer where you can play with your friends or try to kill each other. There's all kinds of servers, and they keep adding to it. It seems like every few months they have new drops and add stuff to it. It's awesome. That's where my house is. I've got some thumbnails on my channel that are taken from outside of my house in survival Minecraft. Yes, it's survival, but it's also peaceful mode because I don't need stuff trying to blow up my shit and try to kill me. I tried playing it for half an hour. Got my ass blown up too much. I said, "Oh no, this is not." It started as a sandbox anyway, so I don't need stuff trying to kill me. But I do need to learn how to fight in that game. I do. I just get more. I get off more on building stuff, and I haven't even been playing it for a year. I haven't done everything with it yet. Patrick only really played Tomb Raider. I never played Tomb Raider. My game before this was Final Fantasy VII. I mean, I've played other stuff, but I love Final Fantasy VII. And it's a keyboard game. It's my first keyboard game, so I had to learn how to move around in it. Get a mouse. Get a mouse to play as well. So you download the game, you buy a mouse, and then you're in there. And then it's just, if you've never played a keyboard game, just go into creative mode and just start building stuff. Check out Puffs Gaming 81 or Sway Lee to watch them play horror mods. And they build houses. And there's like tutorials if you want to make your inside look like a real house, if you want it to look like a castle or rustic or like super modern. There's ways to do that. It's so the fun is endless. If you don't want to build anything, you can go on an adventure, and if you don't want to do that, you can build something. Or I've never played multiplayer. I'll be honest with you. It is so much fun. I gotta make my own skin. I don't know how to do that. But yeah, we're in the cell. Maggie's there. She's got this bowl with food in it, but I mean, it's still got food in it. So that's what Willie's noticed. And he's looking down. He says he didn't eat much. I'm trying to figure out what that food is, like beef stew. It's something. But Maggie sets down that bowl on that that crate there at the head of the bed. She's so depressed. It's so hard to see her sad. She's a happy person, but she sets down the bowl and picks up the music box. She says, "I'm all right." Willie says, "You will be. At least I hope you will be." Points at the music box in her hands. He says, "That's the only way." Maggie says, "I know." So Willie picks that bowl up. He starts to leave. Maggie says, "Willie?" Willie says, I'm not supposed to talk to you." Maggie says, "I know, but you've been so good to me." And Willie says, "I only do what he tells me." Maggie, "I know, but you saved my life, Willie, and I'm grateful, very grateful. I just wanted to show you how much. I want to give you something." Willie turns around to look at her. He says, "What?" Maggie says, "This ring." She takes her ring off. She's holding it up in both hands. Note the music that starts playing here. I think I'm going to keep pointing this out until it gets to my favorite scene, but check out the music playing there. But we know Willie likes shiny stuff, so he's focused on that now. He says, "A ring?" Sets that bowl down. He's like I say, she's holding up that ring for him to see, so it catches the light. So he's holding onto her hands to keep her hands still, so he can stare at it. Willie says, "You want me to have it?" Maggie says, "Yes, Willie." Willie lets go of her hands. He says, I don't know if Barnabas would like it if I took it." Maggie says, "You wouldn't have to tell him. And you like beautiful things, Willie. Look, real diamonds." So he holds onto her hands again to look at it. He says, "Yeah, I can see." Maggie says, "It's worth a lot of money." Willie, "It is?" Maggie says, "I bet you could get a great deal on it." Willie says, "I could?" Maggie, "Yes." "Oh, I want you to have it, Willie. I won't need it anymore, and it reminds me so much of my past that I think I'd be able to forget a lot easier if I didn't have it." Willie's staring at this ring. He says, "Well, if it will help you." Maggie says, "It will, it will. Please take it, Willie." So finally takes it out of her hand. He holds it up just so we can admire it, staring at this thing. He said, "That must be worth a lot. Thank you." Maggie says, "Thank you, Willie. I'm the one that should be grateful." So "You got the ring. Get out of here with it." Oh, and T says, "I like building things type of game. That's why I always played Sims growing up." That's cool. Yeah, that's one of the big things about the game is building. Folks like to build stuff. First thing I did when I played it was build about three different type of houses, and you got different colored stuff and material. The next drop they do in the fall is going to have they have wool already, but they're going to have wool stairs and slabs. So instead of just a box, a square of wool, a slab is like half the size of that. And you got your different colored stones and wood types and glass, and you can make stuff different colors, and there's critters, and you can farm if you want. Brian says Roller Coaster Tycoon is as close as I got. That seems like it's fun to play. Patrick says Restore is run by Rupert Lowe. I'll definitely be voting for him next election. And see, back in the day when I was young, the Sega Channel had a theme park game where you could build it up and expand it. Can't remember what it was called. Oh, I don't know if I remember that. I know I had a Nintendo back in the day, and then my friends had Sega, so that we had to go over to their house to play Mortal Kombat. Okay, yeah, now we're at the old house. We're on the front porch there. David, don't go far. Next time we see him, he's on the porch. Tries both of the knobs on the front door. Of course, it's locked. So then he walks over to the windows, tries those, see if they open up. The middle window there is unlocked. So this guy opens it up and goes inside. You can't just break into a place, but there it is. So trespassing. But David's there in the drawing room now and looks around a little bit. Says, Josette, I'm back. I said I'd come back. Nobody there, so he starts walking up the stairs. Then every time I hear this, I jump because I'm never expecting it, but it's Willie hollering from across the set. Just, where are you going? And David stops on the steps, like, oh, hi, Willie. So Willie walks up to the banister there. He says, what are you doing here? You were told not to come here. David says, I wasn't doing anything. Willie, this is Mr. Collins's house now. David, I just want to go up to that little room. Willie, what room? David, Josette's room. So Willie goes around the banister, goes up the stairs to where David is, about halfway up there. Grabs David's arm. He says, you're not going anywhere except out of here. David says, just for a minute, please. I told her I'd come up there. Willie says, I know it. I know you think you see spooks here, but you don't. Nobody's here, so you don't come looking for nobody. David says, I don't care if you believe me or not. Willie, well then, we got no arguments. Now come on, out. So he's pulling David down the stairs, taking him over to the door. David says, you can't throw me out. Willie, just watch me. David, I'll tell my cousin. Willie, you do that. David, I'll tell my father. Willie, good luck. David, just a minute. I want to tell you something. Willie says, ow, I don't want to hear it. And just as he gets the door unlocked and starts to open it up a little bit, David says, I know what you're doing here, you and Barnabas. Willie closes the door back up. Says, what are you talking about? What do you mean you know? What are we doing? David, you're doing something to Josette. Willie says, now you don't know what you're talking about. David, yes, I do. Willie, yeah? Well, what are we doing to her? David says, you're trying to pretend she isn't here. That's why you moved her picture upstairs. But you can't get rid of her. She's still here. I've seen her. Willie says, you didn't see anyone. David, yes, I did, and I'll see her again. Willie, you aren't going to see anyone. So he picks David up, like puts his arm around this kid, lifts him up into the air. He's taking him to the front door. He says, ow, opens the door up. David says, let me go. Willie, okay, I'll let you go. Tosses him down outside there on the ground. So Willie just goes right back inside. What's up, beat chap? Glad you made it. Shucked his ass out the door. So David goes back up to the closed doors now. He says, I'll tell my Aunt Elizabeth. Willie, and she doesn't want you here either. Now, if you know what's good for you, you'll go away and you'll stay away. David looks right down on the ground. He crouches down there, picks it up. He says, hey, I got something for you. So we hear Willie, you go away. David, but I gotta give it to you. Willie says, "Did you hear me? Now beat it." Hey, free ring. So David just heads on back. I mean, sort of. I mean, he could have just stuck it in his pocket and walked away. At least he was sort of trying to return it. Oh, okay. What's this guy doing with the girl's ring? Oh, well, it's mine now, but. Alright, he tried to return it. But now we're back in Collinwood in the foyer, and Victoria's just. You promised not to go far away, and then when I called you, you were anywhere around. You broke your promise. David, no, I didn't. Like, what have you got in your hand there? So kind of takes it out of his hand. She says, "Where did you find this ring?" David, "I found it on the ground." Victoria, "David." She takes it over to the light. She's looking at it. There's some kind of inscription inside. She's trying to just get it just right in the light, trying to read it, but she can't make it out. Just then there's a knock at the door, so she opens it up, standing right there anyway. And it's Barnabas, and David sees him, and he says, "Well, I'm going up to my bedroom." Barnabas is like, "David, wait. I believe I owe you an apology. I had the feeling that Willie was rude to you a while ago. He mentioned had been a slight scuffle." Victoria, "David, is that where you were?" David, "I was only there for a few minutes." Victoria, "You know you're only allowed to go there if you've been invited." David, "But I was." Victoria, "No, you were not." Okay, who invited you? Barnabas, "The legend of Josette persists, I see." Victoria, "Is that where you got this ring?" Barnabas sees it. David says, "I tried to give it back." Barnabas says, "May I see it?" So Victoria hands it to him, and David says, "I think it fell out of Willie's pocket." Barnabas is looking at it. "Oh, I recognize it, of course. It's an old family piece. I was giving it to Willie to sell along with some other things." David apologizes for taking it, and Barnabas accepts his apology. Then he says, "Perhaps because Willie is so temperamental, it would be better to steer clear of him. Thank you for retrieving the ring. It's really quite valuable." So we're back in the cell, and Maggie's kind of pacing around a bit. Like, she's just thinking about, like, great, my father's going to get the ring and just all this. She's going to get out of there. So she's looking kind of hopeful. But she hears footsteps, so she goes over, back over to the cot, opens up the music box, and she's playing it. So Barnabas walks up to the door. He doesn't go inside. He's just looking through that hole there with the bars. Maggie's sitting there acting like she's digging the music. Barnabas says, "It's lovely, isn't it?" Maggie, "Yes." Barnabas, "I'm very pleased to see you're enjoying it. And this new spirit of cooperation." Maggie, "Thank you." Barnabas, "You're very intelligent to realize that your only real way of escaping is into the character of my sweet and lovely Josette." Maggie, "I know." Barnabas, "By the way, a curious thing happened while I was talking to Miss Winters at the old house, and she had a ring David found outside where it had been dropped by my faithful servant, Willie. I believe it belongs to you." So he holds it up. so she can see it. Maggie says, "My ring!" Barnabas, "I'm sure you're grateful I managed to retrieve it before Miss Winters was able to decipher the inscription inside." Maggie says, "No." Barnabas, "Since you're so careless, I think it would be better if I kept it in a safe place for you, where no one will find it." So Maggie's like reaches through the window to try to grab it just as Barnabas is sticking it into his shirt pocket there. He says, "I congratulate you on the improvement in your attempts, but I'm sure you realize if I don't offer my sympathies for their lack of success." So he walks away. Maggie's upset. She goes over to the music box and slams the lid shut. Nice try, Maggie, but damn. Oh, and he says, you play Minecraft online if you're just building up on your own, or is that only when you're attacking and being attacked? I'm not familiar. Actually, you can play it without being connected to the Wi-Fi or anything. So I'll often boot it up, and I don't have the internet connected. But if you want to be attacked, you don't have to have the Wi-Fi on. The only time I think you have to be connected to the internet to play is if you're playing with friends or on a server or something like that, because it needs the internet to connect. But you can play it on creative mode, survival mode, adventure, and not be connected at all. You just have to have it downloaded. Um, every once in a while, you do need to connect it to the internet if there's a new drop you want to get in on. I'm kind of pissed off because I thought with this last drop with the sulfur cubes, I was going to get the poplar wood. So I connected to the internet, updated my version. Not only did it not have it, but I think it nerfed my chicken farm where I could leave it alone for so long and have almost an entire chest full of eggs. Now I'll only have a stack, and a stack is only 16. So do I have to build it closer to my house? I don't know, but so no, you can just download it, and then you don't have to be online to play it. But if you want to play with friends, I'm pretty sure you have to have it connected to the internet. But if you just want to build, you don't need to be online. So episode 254 aired on June 15th, 1967. It's the next day, day 77. It's a clear night. We're in the living room, and it's Carolyn and Liz. They are arguing. We can't, like, the voiceover is still talking, and we see them arguing back there. Carolyn's wearing pants. It seems like she's wearing pants whenever she's been hanging out with Buzz because of the whole motorcycle thing. But Carolyn's going out. She won't say where, she's just going out. And Liz, she's wearing that dark dress, like that rich fabric with the two jewels at the waist, one strand of pearls, and these teardrop earrings surrounded by diamonds. Oh my God. But Liz is saying it's dangerous for a young girl to be out. There's a madman loose. Carolyn says, "I don't care." Liz, "I do care about you." Carolyn, "Don't worry. I'll round up some protection. I never have much trouble finding a companion." Liz, "Like that Buzz or whatever his name is. I don't I think it would make your flesh crawl just to look at him." Carolyn, "Not as much as another man I can mention. If I stay here, I'll say things a lot worse." She just takes off out the door. Liz is trying to stop her, but she's out the door. So later on, Liz is in the living room. Victoria's there, and Liz is just saying that, well, when I think of her tearing around out there and there's a madman on the loose, how can I stop her? Victoria, "I really don't know." Liz, "Yes, you do. You know it, and I know it. If I called off my marriage to Jason, Victoria says, yes, I think that would stop it. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's just trying to hurt you. She can't help herself. Liz, she's punishing herself more than me. I don't see why she'd try to hurt me. All I'm trying to do is make some kind of life for myself. Carolyn is just being selfish, and if she wants to do these things, these ridiculous things, I should let her. No, I don't really mean that. Carolyn's my whole life. I love her so much. Victoria, and she loves you. What you're doing wouldn't matter to her so much if she didn't care about you. Liz, what am I doing? Marrying a man I want to marry. Victoria says Carolyn doesn't believe that. Liz, you don't either. Victoria, no, I don't. It's none of my business, but I've had the feeling Jason's forcing you to do things you don't want to do. Liz, I thought I cleared that up. I let you all into that room in the basement, and you found nothing. You still think Jason has a hold over me. You think I did something wrong and he's blackmailing me. Victoria says we've all done things we're ashamed of, and someone like Jason comes around and haunts us with it. Liz, please stop. Victoria says perhaps we shouldn't talk about it anymore. She's gonna. She says goodnight. She's gonna go upstairs and check to make sure David's asleep. Dandy says I'm still not sure what kind of attacks are happening to these women. It all stems from back when they don't know this, but when Barnabas showed up and he was having Willie go out and try to grab girls for him, but he couldn't, so he had to grab animals. And then with Maggie just being taken and they can't find her, it's like they're worried that that's going to happen to another girl. Plus, they're still thinking about when somebody tried to snatch up those other girls initially. What if it's somebody who took Maggie and killed her? That's why they can't find her. So he's just waiting to find another girl to take, and they're just on pins and needles. They don't even know. There's no trace of Maggie, not a drop of blood, a scrap of clothing. Nobody's seen her. And if people think they have seen her, it turns out to not be her. So they just don't. They're kind of doing it. They don't know what to do, and that's the least they can do. Like, hey, how about everybody just stay inside and not go out by yourself at all? Maybe they figure if they do see a girl by herself, like, oh, that must be Maggie because we told everybody else not to do that. So, oh, okay, come back home, Maggie. But that's all they can do to try to make people feel safe. Hey, just don't go out at night. Like people don't get abducted during the day. Don't say that. You'll make it worse. But now we're in the Blue Whale. It's not playing silly music now, but it's Jason is walking in there with Willie. Yeah, I guess Willie can go out since Maggie's locked up. Jason says, I said I'd buy you a drink. Willie says, I don't want a drink. Why don't you just leave me alone? Jason says, I'll tell you why. They both sit down at a table. He orders 2 double bourbons. Willie, I won't drink it. Jason says, all right, then don't. You're going to sit here and you're going to tell me what you were doing this afternoon. So Jason was at the bank earlier, probably doing something with his Swiss account, but while he was in the bank, he noticed Willie was there. Like, what's all that about? Willie says, I was doing something for Mr. Collins. Jason says, I saw what you were doing. You were in there with another man, obviously delivering or selling jewelry. I want to know what that means. Willie says means Mr. Collins has some old family jewelry he's selling. The man was a dealer from Boston and was selling it for him. Jason, Mr. Collins would have to be a fool to put jewels in your hands. Willie, if you don't believe me, ask him. Jason, I don't know if you've heard. I've decided to get myself married. Willie says, married? Well, you could never settle for one woman and you know it. Jason, true, but I could settle for marrying only one, especially if she happens to be the charming mistress of Collinwood. Willie, you're gonna marry Mrs. Stoddard? She'd never marry you. Jason, she's not doing it for my money. The deal is, I'll have considerable influence at Collinwood very soon. Am I making myself clear? And it was our understanding there'd be plenty for both of us. Willie, not any part of that, not anymore. Jason, because you've got a little action going for yourself, haven't you? Willie, no. All I'm doing is working for Mr. Collins. Jason, it's just possible your work for Mr. Collins may eventually interest me. Willie, there's nothing there that would interest you. Jason, a fistful of jewelry sold at a local shop? Are you trying to tell me that wouldn't interest me? Willie, he wants some money for a business he's starting. Now that's all there is to it. Jason, we'll see. Willie says, I gotta go get back. Jason, remember, I want a piece of that action. Willie, there's nothing there for you. I keep telling you. Look, why don't you leave us alone? If you're gonna marry Mrs. Stoddard, isn't that enough? What do you want with us? Jason, what I want has always depended on how much I can get. And if I can get it, I want it. And when I want it, I get it. Remember that. So we hear a motorcycle pulling up outside. That's never good. Door opens up, and Carolyn and Buzz walk in. She maybe had a few drinks. She's not stumbling around drunk like she was the other time. But Buzz asks, well, why did you bring us here? Why'd we come here? Carolyn says a girl gets thirsty once in a while. And stops and she sees Jason. And a girl gets sick to her stomach once in a while. She's like, hey, come on, let's go. Jason says, we were just about to leave. Please stay. Carolyn, only if you'll take the smell with you. Jason, is that any way to talk to your future stepfather? Carolyn, only because there are some words I don't want to use in public. So Jason and Willie walk out. Beat Chap says, just reminded me of the Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Yeah. I'm sure Jason wishes he was Mr. Burns rich. I don't think he's ever worked an honest job in his life. But Carolyn starts to go off about Jason, but Buzz tells her to chill. Carolyn says, you know what? For someone stupid, you're pretty smart. Buzz says, who needs smart? I got instincts. So later on, they're sitting at a table. Carolyn's definitely had a few drinks by now. She's always got some kind of mixed drink sort of thing, and Buzz is always drinking beer. He knows what he likes. Carolyn says, go ahead, have another one. Buzz says, drinking's a drag. All it makes you feel is drunk. How about something that makes you feel like you've never been alive before? I got the bike outside. I guess his username checks out. Carolyn says, I want to dance first. So she gets up, she starts dancing. Buzz is just sitting there chilling. Says, I thought you wanted a bike ride. She gets tired of dancing. They both start to head out the door right when Joe was walking in. So Carolyn tells Buzz, I just wait for a minute. Just cool your heels out there. So Joe goes and he sits at the bar, and Carolyn comes up behind him and it's like, I just want you to know how sorry I am about Maggie. Joe's he doesn't look like he's in a good mood. He's just sitting there. He's just thanks. Do you mind if we don't talk about it? It's like, oh, I just wanted you to know how I feel. Uh, Joe says she's turning around, but Joe says, can I buy you a beer? Carolyn, thanks, but you saw I have a date. Joe, I've been hearing about you. What's going on? Carolyn, a girl likes to have a little fun once in a while. Joe says, that guy looks like he's about as much fun as a bag of spiders. I hear your mother is thinking about getting remarried. Aren't you too old for temper tantrums? Just then Buzz pops back in. He's tired of waiting, so Carolyn starts walking out. Joe tells her that offer of a beer still stands. Carolyn would rather hang out with Buzz. They both take off. Stop hanging out with that guy. Now we're back in Collinwood in the living room, and it's Liz and Jason. Liz says that she's like, I can't set a date. I haven't heard back from my lawyer yet. Jason, well, I have. Liz is pissed off that he's been talking to her lawyer. Jason says a suitable date would be 2 weeks from today. Liz says 2 weeks. It's hardly enough time. I have things to do. Jason says, why don't we make the announcement at the first opportunity? Just then, Carolyn and Buzz come in. And I think Carolyn's been drinking the whole time. So they walk into the living room, and Carolyn turns to Buzz. She says they're going to be married. Buzz says, if that's the way they want it. Liz tells Carolyn, I think you should go to your room. Jason says, oh, your mother and I have decided on a date. 2 weeks from today. Carolyn says, 2 weeks. Oh, that's splendid. Turns to Buzz. Hey, why don't you come to the wedding? Buzz says, I think I gotta be out of town on that day. Carolyn, I got a better idea. I love weddings, especially my own. Why don't we get married, Buzz? I want to be a bride 2 weeks from today. Liz says, please be serious. Carolyn, what makes you think I'm not? Don't forget, Buzz, 2 weeks from today, you and me, bride and groom. First you're drunk, now you're just making the worst dishes. Oh my God, she's just fucking up so bad. So whatever 2 weeks from that day is, let's see if it actually works out to 2 weeks. This will be fun to figure out on my own. So episode 255 aired on June 16th, 1967. It's the next day, day 78. Well, it's nighttime again now. It's warm, it's windy. And we're in the cell, and Maggie is just lying down on the cot, holding on to the music box. She's got to be bored as hell down there. There's nothing to look at. There's nobody to talk to. Barely anything to eat. Doesn't want to play the music box, so she's just hanging out down there. But then we're up in Josette's room. Barnabas is there, and Willie walks in. He's got that light colored turtleneck on. And he's got this vase with some flowers. It looks nice. I couldn't tell you exactly what flowers are in it, but it looks pretty. But he walks in with it. He sets it down on that little round table that's roughly in the middle of the room, in front of the fireplace. He says, "I got the flowers." Barnabas goes over, takes a look at them. He says Josette loved fresh cut flowers. They were placed in her room every morning. Willie, why did you ask me to get them? Does it mean you're going to let the girl come back up here? Barnabas, perhaps. Willie, you mean you're going to give her another chance? Barnabas, you ask entirely too many questions, Willie. Willie, she can't stay down in that room much longer, Barnabas. She's about to go crazy down there. Barnabas, she deserves a far greater punishment than that. I offered her the world, the chance to become my bride, my Josette, and she refused. Willie, I think she's ready to accept it. Barnabas, it would be fortunate for her. It would be unfortunate for her if she resists me again. Willie, what will you do to her? Barnabas, you know the answer to that. I'll have to kill her. Acting exactly the way I want. Your ass is grass. So now we're in the Blue Whale. Poor Sam, he's sitting there at the bar. He's got 2 drinks in front of him. He finishes one, starts on the second one. But Joe walks in, goes up to Sam. He asks him if he's checked with the sheriff today. Sam, no. It depresses me to hear the same answer. If he has any news, he knows where to find me. Joe, I think I'll stop by his office. You want to come with me? Sam, I can't. I've got to run up to the old house. I finished Mr. Collins's portrait last night, and I want to get it up to him and collect my commission. Joe, I'm glad to hear you're working. But we can't give up hope no matter what. Sam's. Poor guy says, as long as I live, I'll believe Maggie's alive. Somewhere. So we're down in the cell. Maggie's just lying around, nothing to do, but she hears footsteps. So she sits up, she starts playing the music box, acts like she likes it. But she looks over at the door, and Willie says, "Yeah, it's me." Unlocks the door, he goes inside. Maggie says, "Oh, Willie, you don't know how good it is to see you after being in here alone." Willie closes the door. When he does, he smiles, but then he turns back around and covers it up. Like he's not allowed to look happy about anything. But Willie tells her he wants me to take you upstairs to your room, to Josette's room. Now, could mean he's going to give you another chance. Maggie, do you think so? Willie, you go along with him. You pretend to be whatever he wants you to be, for your own sake. Maggie, I'll try. Willie, you gotta do more than try. You gotta make him think you are Josette and you're gonna be his bride. Maggie, but Willie, you know what it means to be like him? Just exist among the living dead? Willie, now don't say that. Now you know you want to live. You know you want to get out of here. Maggie, I just want to get out of this room. I'm gonna go insane if I have to stay in here any longer. Willie, then don't resist him. Make him think he's won. Make him believe you. This could be your very last chance. You better act like this girl you don't know anything about. Absolutely no direction at all. What kind of personality did Josette have? Like she was just pretty and liked flowers? What the hell? He hasn't told her anything about Josette. Oh, okay. We're not supposed to think about it. She's just supposed to know. So we're up in Josette's room, and Willie brings in Maggie, and he leaves them alone. Barnabas is standing there over in front of the dressing table with the mirror and all. He says, "How are you, my dear?" Maggie's better. It's better than I've been in days. Barnabas, are you happy to return to your room? Maggie says, "It's like a paradise." Barnabas, would you like to stay here again? Maggie, may I? Barnabas, we shall see. Maggie, oh, Barnabas, please don't make me go back to that room. Let me stay here. I'll do anything. Please say you will. Barnabas, please don't plead with me. Josette was above begging for anything, and you must be Josette in every detail. Maggie, I want to be. Barnabas shows her those flowers there. He says, I had Willie cut some fresh flowers for you. Do you like them? Maggie does. She walks right up to him. She says, "Oh, they're the most beautiful flowers I've ever seen." Barnabas, Josette had a vase of flowers in every room of the house. She wanted the beauty of living to surround her wherever she went. So Maggie's had that music box with her the whole time. She sets them down and she takes out one of the flowers. I can't tell if it's a tulip or is it just a rose that hasn't opened up all the way, but she picks it up. And there's also, it seems like there's baby's breath, and the leaves are like fern leaves. I don't know flowers and plants, but again, it's pretty. Maggie says, "I've longed to see a flower, tree, even a blade of grass." Barnabas, it would be so easy for you to be free. All you must do is accept your destiny willingly. Maggie, I'm trying to do that. Barnabas, I see you have your music box. Have you played it? Maggie, yes. She picks it up. Barnabas asks her, "How do you feel when you listen to it?" Maggie, sometimes I really believed that was Josette. Barnabas, play it now. It would please me. So Maggie opens up the lid. Barnabas says, "You seem calmer when you listen to the music. Does it really have that effect on you?" Maggie, yes. I feel happy. I don't know why. Barnabas, is it because you're in this room? Maggie, yes. Barnabas, because you're with me. Maggie, yes. Barnabas, and you long to be with me. Maggie, with all my heart. Barnabas, look deep into my eyes. Tell me how happy you are. Maggie, happy. Barnabas, because we're together. Maggie, yes. I want to be your bride. Barnabas, Josette, I have waited for you for so long. I promise you shall be happy until the end of time. So he takes her hand, he goes to kiss her, but she pulls her hand out of his. Barnabas says, You recoil. Why, Josette? For a moment you were Josette, my Josette. But a part of you clings to that stupid belief that Maggie Evans still exists. When will you learn that common creature no longer exists? When will you accept yourself as the lovely creature you could be? Maggie says, Maggie Evans. She closes the lid of the music box. She says, Yes, that's who I am. You can kill me, but nothing will ever change that. Barnabas, I ought to kill you. You're not worthy of the honor I have tried to give you. Just then Willie comes running in, and Barnabas is like, I told you to leave us alone. But Willie's panicking. Willie says, Barnabas, he's here. Her father's car just pulled up. He's going to be here any minute. So Maggie tries to run for the door, but Willie grabs her. He's got his arm around her, hand over her mouth. There's really not, pardon me, I gotta plug this in. There's really not a whole lot of space to run in that room as it is, but she's not getting away now. So Willie's, her father's gonna be here any minute. He just pulled up, Barnabas. Really? Willie, we gotta get her back downstairs. Barnabas, no. I prefer to leave her here. Willie, but it isn't safe. She might make a sound. He might hear her. Barnabas, you must make sure that she doesn't. And you know what will happen if you fail. Takes a handkerchief out of his pocket. He says, Here, take this handkerchief, put it over her mouth. I want you to take her to the end of the hall at the top of the stairs. Willie, well, if I take her there, she'll only be a few feet away from her father. Barnabas, exactly. I want her to overhear our conversation. Willie, but it isn't safe. She might move. She might make a sound. Barnabas, I don't think she will, because I may be forced to kill her, and of course, forced to kill her father. Like she's really just gonna be just right up the stairs from him, and oh my god. So down in the foyer, Barnabas goes down the stairs, opens up the door. Sam's there, Hey, what's up, man? No, just, good evening. Sam says, I came to deliver the portrait. So we can see that shot from the top of the stairs there. There's that banister across the way. There's a wall sconce with some candles lit in it. And Willie's holding on to Maggie, but she's got the handkerchief around her mouth. It's kind of between her teeth, so she kind of gagged a little bit. And he's holding on to her upper arm, so like her hands are free, but he's got her, holding her in front of him, so she's really not going to be able to wrestle away from him or anything like that. But they're like about half the time when they're talking, like sometimes we're down there watching Barnabas and Sam, and then the other half of the time it's just Willie holding on to Maggie, and we can just see her looking just distressed about what she's hearing. And I don't know if she can see down the stairs, but she can definitely hear them. I guess she wouldn't be able to see them because Sam could just look upstairs. So she's hearing all of this stuff. So Sam's holding the portrait. We can't see it yet. We can just see the back of it. hands it off to Barnabas. He's saying how he finished it up last night and use it like a kind of therapy. So Barnabas invites him in, and so we can, again, we can't see it ourselves, but Barnabas holds it up to get a good look at it. He says, "Splendid, good. It's everything I hoped for." Sam, "Well, it's not the best work I've done, but it's the best work I can do right now." I like that line. Barnabas says, "I couldn't be happier. Oh, forgive me for not asking at the beginning. Have you had any news about your daughter?" Sam, "No, none. The cops have pretty much given up the search. They're sure she's not in the area. They sent pictures of her all across the United States, and so Barnabas takes the portrait into the living room and he sets it up there on the mantle, roughly where it's going to be at. He says, "I'm sure she's alive and well." Sam, "I've been clinging to the hope that someday, somehow, they'll find her." So back at the door's still open, but there's Joe leaning in, knocking on the door. Like, "Sam?" Sam walks back into the foyer. Joe's like, "I knew you were here. I had to talk to you." So Barnabas lets them go talk there. Joe's saying to Sam, he says, "I've just come from the sheriff's office and you better brace yourself." Sam says, "Is she?" Joe, "They found a girl on the beach 50 miles north and they think it's Maggie. It's girl's the same size as her, same age, been in the water about 4 or 5 days. Cops think it's her." Sam says, "It can't be." "Who am I kidding? Of course it is. Maggie. Gone." Barnabas joins like overheard, and he offers his condolences. And Sam just saying, "Yeah, yeah, thanks." It's kind of numb now. So Joe and Sam take off. So Barnabas heads back upstairs. Sure, he's happy Maggie heard that. But we're up in Josette's room again. Willie just sort of walks Maggie in, sort of there by the foot of the bed there. Just walks her in just about that far, lets her go. So Barnabas takes the gag off of the back of her head while Willie's standing there. He's got the door closed. He's leaning up against it. Barnabas says, "Did you hear that? Do you still hope they will come searching for you?" Maggie, "I don't know." Barnabas, "Why would they look for you now? As far as the world is concerned, Maggie Evans is dead." Maggie, "No." Barnabas, "Soon they will forget all about you. Although grieved for a while. Joe will find another girl, marry, and all of his feelings for you will be transferred to someone else. Your father will drown his sorrows in drink and then turn to his painting, and you will be nothing but a memory, even to him." Maggie says, "Please don't say those things." Barnabas, "Why not? Isn't it true? Maggie Evans doesn't exist. The only place she exists is in your mind. It would be better for you if she ceased to exist at all." Maggie gets a stubborn look on her face. She pulls this look right now. She says, "I will never stop being Maggie Evans." Barnabas, "It would be a shame if you died when you could continue to exist so happily as Josette." Maggie, "I will never be Josette Collins." Barnabas, "We shall see about that. I suggest you think about it. Willie, take her back downstairs." Maggie, "You can't put me back in that room." Barnabas, "One thinks best in the atmosphere of solitude." Maggie, please, please don't put me back in that room. I'll go mad if I stay in that room. Barnabas, take her out of here, Willie. The sight of her offends me. So Willie goes to take her back downstairs. When he goes to touch her arm, she recoils like somebody who's been beaten, and just like the thought of being touched scares him. So he goes to grab her arms, and she pulls back. She says, please. Willie says, don't argue with him. It's no use. So he takes her back downstairs. I don't think I did it justice, but the way Maggie gasps, oh my God. I didn't see that coming. She didn't see that coming. Okay. She's having a bad day. But we're downstairs again in the cell, and Willie just unlocks the door, sort of guides Maggie over to the cot. She just lies down. But Willie starts to leave. Maggie looks back up at him. She says, please, Willie, don't go. Willie, I have to. Maggie, please, just stay for a little while. I can't stand to be alone. Willie, I can't stay. Barnabas needs me. So he leaves. He's locking the door. Maggie's trying to grab it, trying to get him to stop, but he's just locking up the door. He can't even look her in the face. He's just got his head down, locking it up. Maggie says, please, Willie, don't go. Just for a little while. Please, Willie, don't go. Don't. But he takes off. He leaves her alone. So Maggie lies back down on the cot there. She's crying. And then we hear this little girl's voice start singing London Bridge. So Maggie looks up. She says, who is it? Who's out there? She gets up. She looks out of the window. And there's a little girl there. She's got this old-fashioned type of dress on, some like frilly bonnet thing. And she's sitting there, and she's holding a doll that also has this old-fashioned type of like Maggie's over there, and she's holding the doll like this, looking at it, singing London Bridge. So I'm sure Maggie thinks she's going nuts, and that's how that ends. We see Josette's room for the credits. Like, that's not cruel enough. Ugh. I really like that episode. That's so sad for Maggie. She's stubborn as hell too. Although everybody thinks Maggie Evans is dead, and she's like, I'll never stop being Maggie Evans. She's too stubborn for her own good, but good for her for not playing Barnabas's game. I know I went over just a little bit here. Yeah, so tune in next time. Who the hell is that little girl? We've never seen another little girl. I wouldn't, like, she's not a teenager. She's not a baby. Like, roughly David's aged, hair. But yeah, and then just on a personal note, one of these horror mods, I forget which one, as far as Minecraft goes, they play London Bridge in it. And I'm like, why'd you have to choose that song? That's creepy as hell. So yeah, you can watch Dark Shadows on Tubi right now for free. Link in the channel description and show description. It's looking bad marriage-wise for both Maggie and Liz. And also Carolyn. Is there going to be a happy marriage on this show eventually? I don't know. It doesn't seem like anytime soon. But it was great to see everybody. I'm glad you guys had a couple of hours on the 4th of July to hang out with me and hear about Dark Shadows. Hope you guys had fun. I did too. I've got a fan blowing that way. It's making my voice a little bit crunchy. Maybe I was able to cover that up. But yeah, I love you guys. You guys are all the best. Don't forget to smash the like button on the way out. That helps out the channel. Make sure you are subscribed. I hit another subscriber milestone. I don't want to say what it is because then I always lose subs, but I've never had as many subs as I have right now. So thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Oh, Dandy says, thanks, Nikki. Great chat room. Yeah, you guys are all awesome. You guys are the best. You guys make all the bullshit worth it, no matter how much water gets into my windows when it's raining. And T says, good night, Nikki and everyone. Yeah, you too. Check out Minecraft. It does cost money, but it's totally worth it. Once you download it, you have it forever. And it's any questions you do have about Minecraft, you can just, there's a Minecraft wiki. You can Google the stuff. There's videos about it, so you can find out anything you need to know about it if it's not obvious from inside the game, because I was new to it too. Don't get me wrong, I felt like the oldest person on the planet when I first started playing it, but it's I figured it out. I'm getting better at it. Brian says, great to see you. Yeah, great to see you too. John Rogers says, have a great 4th of July, everyone. Good night, Nikki. Yeah, good night to you too. So I will definitely be seeing you guys in a chat room between now and the next show. So get some good sleep, get something to eat, get something to drink, stay cool. I hope your power stays on and your room stay dry. You guys make all of the bullshit worth it, so thank you for being awesome and sexy and based. And just take it easy in the meantime. So I love all you guys. Oh, John Rogers has fireworks to set off. Nice, nice. Until next time.